A legacy of power, Alexander's empire at its peak. At its zenith, Alexander the Great's empire spanned over 3,000 miles from Greece in the west to the banks of the Indus River in the east. Never before had a single ruler unified such a vast and culturally diverse territory, and Alexander's success in forging this empire left a legacy that reshaped the ancient world. His empire was not merely a collection of conquered lands. It was a bridge between East and West, a realm where Greek ideals mingled with Persian, Egyptian, and Indian cultures. Alexander's vision extended beyond mere conquest. He sought to create a unified world where knowledge, art, and trade could flourish. The legacy of his empire, though brief in political terms, established a lasting cultural fusion that defined the Hellenistic age and influenced the course of history. The extent of Alexander's empire. At its height, Alexander's empire encompassed all of Greece and Macedonia, the entirety of the Persian Empire, Egypt, and parts of Central Asia and northern India. This vast territory included a wide array of languages, religions, and social customs. While other empires before him had conquered large areas, Alexander's conquests marked the first time that so many distinct cultures were brought under the rule of a single individual. To hold this expansive domain together, Alexander devised a system that blended Greek administrative practices with local traditions. Rather than imposing a singular form of governance, he appointed both Greek and Persian officials to oversee different regions, creating a hybrid model that sought to honor local customs while establishing a shared structure of rule. This approach allowed Alexander to maintain order across the far reaches of his empire while fostering cooperation between his Macedonian officials and the local elites. By marrying Roxana, a Bactrian princess, and encouraging his officers to marry local women, Alexander promoted the idea of a new ruling class that could bridge cultural divides. Alexandria, the jewel of the empire. One of the most enduring legacies of Alexander's empire was the city of Alexandria in Egypt. Founded in 331 BCE on the Mediterranean coast, Alexandria was envisioned as a symbol of Greek culture and knowledge that would also serve as a gateway to the East. Under the Ptolemies, who ruled Egypt after Alexander's death, Alexandria became one of the world's greatest centers of learning and commerce. Its famous library attracted scholars, scientists, and philosophers from all corners of the known world, becoming a beacon of intellectual progress. The city embodied Alexander's vision of cultural fusion. Greek architecture and urban planning combined with Egyptian religious traditions, creating a cosmopolitan atmosphere where people of different backgrounds could engage in intellectual exchange. Alexandria became the heart of the Hellenistic world, a place where Greek, Egyptian, Persian, and Jewish ideas mingled freely. This cultural blend was a hallmark of Alexander's empire, promoting a level of cross-cultural interaction that had never been seen before. The spread of Hellenistic culture. Alexander's conquests did not simply expand his empire's borders. They also spread Greek culture, language, and ideas across a vast territory. Greek became the lingua franca of the Hellenistic world, spoken by scholars, merchants, and soldiers from the Mediterranean to the borders of India. Greek theaters, gymnasiums, and marketplaces sprang up in cities across the empire, reflecting Alexander's desire to establish a common cultural framework within his realm. But the spread of Hellenistic culture was not one-sided. As Greek culture permeated these regions, local customs and traditions also influenced Greek practices. In Persia, Alexander adopted elements of Persian dress and ceremony, blending them with Macedonian traditions to create a new style of leadership that resonated with both Greeks and Persians. This fusion of East and West produced a unique cultural landscape, where art, literature, and philosophy from different traditions could interact and evolve. The Hellenistic era gave rise to new schools of thought in philosophy, advancements in science, and innovations in art and architecture, all inspired by the cultural diversity within Alexander's empire. Economic integration and trade. Alexander's empire also fostered unprecedented economic integration. The roads, ports, and trade routes established during his conquests connected distant regions, facilitating the flow of goods, people, and ideas across the empire. Trade routes from the Aegean Sea to the Arabian Peninsula and into Central Asia created a vast network that linked the Mediterranean world with India and even China. Silk, spices, precious metals, and other exotic goods flowed through Alexander's empire, enriching its cities and creating new opportunities for economic growth. By promoting trade, Alexander helped to stimulate economic activity throughout his empire. New coinage systems based on Greek models made it easier to conduct business across different regions, and the spread of Greek measurement standards helped standardize commerce. Major cities like Babylon, Susa, and Alexandria became bustling hubs of trade, attracting merchants from across the known world. This economic prosperity not only strengthened Alexander's empire but also laid the groundwork for the Silk Road, which would continue to connect East and West long after his empire had fractured. Religion and cultural synthesis. Alexander's empire was notable for its religious tolerance and openness to diverse beliefs. While Alexander worshipped the Greek gods, he showed respect for the religious traditions of the lands he conquered, often participating in local religious rituals to demonstrate his commitment to cultural harmony. In Egypt, he was declared the son of the god Ammonius, and in Babylon, he paid homage to the city's gods. By embracing local religions, Alexander fostered a sense of unity and acceptance among the people he ruled. This religious inclusiveness encouraged a blending of spiritual beliefs. Greek gods were often associated with their Eastern counterparts, leading to syncretic deities that embodied aspects of both cultures. For example, Zeus was sometimes merged with Ammonius, creating a deity that reflected both Greek and Egyptian traditions. This cultural synthesis extended to philosophy and mysticism, with Eastern ideas influencing Greek thought and vice versa. Alexander's openness to diverse religions and philosophies helped to create a more cohesive empire, united not only by political power but also by shared cultural and spiritual values. The military legacy, the Macedonian phalanx, and combined arms tactics. Alexander's empire was built on the foundation of his military success, and his tactics and strategies left a profound impact on warfare. The Macedonian phalanx, perfected under Alexander's command, became the core of his army, a disciplined and formidable formation that allowed his soldiers to engage effectively against larger forces. By combining the phalanx with light infantry, cavalry, and siege engineers, Alexander created a flexible army capable of adapting to different types of terrain and opponents. This approach to combined arms tactics became a standard in military strategy, influencing armies for centuries. The organizational structure and discipline of the Macedonian army served as a model for later empires, including the Romans, who studied and adopted many of Alexander's innovations. His ability to coordinate large, diverse forces set a new standard in military strategy, shaping the way future commanders approached warfare. Challenges to unity, a fragile empire. Despite its achievements, Alexander's empire faced significant challenges in maintaining unity. The vastness of the empire and the diversity of its peoples made centralized control difficult. Alexander's attempts to integrate Greek and Eastern cultures were met with resistance, particularly from his own Macedonian soldiers and officers, who were uncomfortable with the adoption of Persian customs and the inclusion of non-Greek soldiers in the army. Moreover, Alexander's early death in 323 BCE left the empire without a clear successor. His generals, known as the Diadochi, quickly divided the empire among themselves, each seizing control of different regions and establishing their own kingdoms. The empire fractured into a series of Hellenistic states, including the Ptolemaic kingdom in Egypt, the Seleucid Empire in Persia and Mesopotamia, and the Antigonid kingdom in Macedonia. These kingdoms continued to promote Hellenistic culture, but the political unity that Alexander had envisioned was lost. The enduring legacy of Alexander's empire. Though Alexander's empire fragmented after his death, its cultural legacy endured. The Hellenistic period that followed his conquests was a time of remarkable intellectual and cultural growth, as Greek, Persian, Egyptian, and Indian influences blended to create a new, cosmopolitan world. Cities like Alexandria, Antioch, and Pergamum became centers of learning and art, preserving and expanding upon the cultural achievements of both Greece and the East. The spread of Hellenistic culture influenced fields as diverse as philosophy, science, medicine, and art. Philosophers such as the Stoics and Epicureans developed new schools of thought that reflected the diverse, interconnected world of the Hellenistic age. Advances in mathematics, astronomy, and medicine flourished in Alexandria, with figures like Euclid, Archimedes, and Hippocrates making lasting contributions to knowledge. Alexander's vision of a united world also laid the foundation for the Roman Empire, which would adopt many aspects of Hellenistic culture and carry them even further westward. The Romans admired Alexander as the ideal of a conqueror and ruler, and they sought to emulate his accomplishments, both in terms of military prowess and cultural integration. A legacy of power and vision. At its peak, Alexander's empire represented the height of human ambition, an empire that sought not only to rule but also to integrate the world. His conquests spread Greek ideals of knowledge, art, and philosophy across Asia, and his legacy reshaped the ancient world. Though his empire lasted only a few years after his death, the cultural, intellectual, and economic exchanges he inspired endured for centuries. Alexander's vision of a unified empire may have proven politically unsustainable, but it left an indelible mark on history. His dream of a world bound by shared knowledge, trade, and mutual respect lives on as a testament to the power of cultural integration. At its peak, Alexander's empire was more than just a domain. It was a bridge between civilizations, a realm that forever altered the course of history and set the stage for the globalized world to come.